Death is inevitable, but some stories of how it happens are beyond comprehension. In this video, we'll uncover 5 real cases of people who met their end in the most unusual and unexpected ways. These are true events that will leave you questioning how such bizarre and extraordinary circumstances could even occur. It was June 2022 in Raipal village located in Odisha, India. Maya Murmu, a 70-year-old woman, had gone to collect water from a local well, something she did every day. But this time something unexpected happened. As she walked back home, a wild elephant appeared out of nowhere. This wasn't just any elephant. It had traveled nearly 200 kilometers from the Dalma Wildlife Sanctuary in Jharkhand. Before Maya could react, the elephant charged at her. The massive animal trampled her with overwhelming force, leaving the quiet village in chaos. Witnesses rushed to help, and Maya was quickly taken to a nearby hospital. Despite efforts to save her, she did not survive. Her family was left devastated, struggling to comprehend the sudden loss. But the nightmare wasn't over. That evening, as her loved ones gathered for her final rites, something unthinkable happened. The same elephant returned, this time with a herd. As the villagers saw the approaching animals, panic spread. People ran for safety, leaving Maya's body on the funeral pyre. Then, in a shocking turn of events, the elephant did something no one could have predicted. It grabbed Maya's body, dragged it away from the pyre, and trampled it again. The animal tossed her remains violently before finally leaving, disappearing into the darkness. The mourners were frozen in disbelief. Why would an elephant return to attack someone who had already passed? It wasn't just a random act. It seemed like something more. Elephants are known for their intelligence, strong memories, and deep emotions. However, they are also capable of aggression, especially under stress. Experts believe the elephant's behavior could have been triggered by something from its past. Perhaps it recognized Maya's scent or was reacting to the earlier encounter. This wasn't an isolated case. Human-elephant conflicts have been increasing across India. As forests shrink and water sources disappear, elephants are forced to wander into human settlements for food. In Odisha alone, over 1,000 elephants have died in unnatural ways over the past 2 decades, often due to human activities like deforestation and illegal hunting. The elephant that attacked Maya had come from the Dalma Wildlife Sanctuary, a protected area that provides food and water for the species. However, it's unclear why it strayed so far from its home. Conservationists suggest habitat loss, climate change, and human expansion could have affected its unusual movements. Duncan McNair, a conservationist and founder of the charity Save the Asian Elephants, has warned about the dangers of disturbing elephant habitats. He explains that elephants are generally peaceful but can react unpredictably if they feel threatened or stressed. In this case, the elephant may have connected Maya's presence with past trauma, triggering its aggressive response. Maya's tragedy wasn't an isolated event. Similar incidents had been reported across India that year as elephants and humans increasingly came into conflict. Some elephants attacked villages, while others lost their lives due to retaliation or poaching. The situation has created fear on both sides, making coexistence even more difficult. Experts say that without urgent conservation efforts, these encounters will only become more common. Elephants are losing their natural habitats at an alarming rate. When forests are cleared for farmland, homes, and businesses, the animals have no choice but to venture into human areas. With fewer food sources, they travel long distances, sometimes hundreds of kilometers, leading to unpredictable and often deadly encounters. For Maya's family, the pain of her passing was made even worse by the shocking events that followed. Despite their grief, they completed her final rites. But the memory of that night will always stay with them. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Had the elephant remained in its natural habitat, would Maya still be alive? The answers may never be clear, but one thing is certain. This event highlights the growing tension between humans and wildlife. The future of elephants depends on how humans choose to interact with nature. Without action, more people and animals will suffer similar fates. The balance between conservation and human expansion is fragile, and if things don't change, Tragedies like Maya's may become even more frequent. The question remains, why did the elephant return? Was it driven by instinct, memory, or something beyond human understanding? The mystery may never be solved, but one thing is certain: no one in Rapel village will ever forget this moment. On July 21, 2022, in Karmeh Yosef, a village near Tel Aviv, Israel, a pool party took a shocking turn when the ground beneath a private swimming pool suddenly gave way. A massive sinkhole opened at the bottom of the pool, leading to the tragic death of 32-year-old Khalil Kimhi and injuring another guest. Kimhi, a marketing professional from Tel Aviv, was attending a company party at a private villa. Around 50 people were at the event, but only 6 were in the pool when the unexpected disaster struck. It was meant to be a fun and relaxing evening, but in an instant, everything changed. Security footage captured the terrifying moment. Guests were floating on inflatable toys when suddenly the water began draining rapidly. Within seconds, a giant hole formed, sucking down the water, pool floats, and anything nearby. The pool floor collapsed, leaving the area unstable. Kimmy and another man, 34, were pulled into the hole. While the second man managed to escape with minor injuries, Kimmy was not as fortunate. He vanished into the vortex, unable to grab anything. Witnesses initially thought it was some kind of joke until they realized the ground had truly disappeared beneath them. Emergency responders arrived quickly, including Israeli firefighters and the Magen David Adom rescue team. However, the unstable ground made the rescue operation dangerous. The sinkhole was about 43 feet deep, and there was a real risk it could collapse further. To prevent more accidents, rescue teams stabilized the area before entering. For hours, rescuers carefully navigated the underground tunnel with cameras attached to their helmets. After about 4 hours, they found Kimhi's lifeless body at the end of a 49-foot passage. Officials later suggested that he either suffered fatal injuries from the fall or was trapped under debris. The man who survived had slipped near the sinkhole's edge but managed to climb out before getting completely pulled in. He suffered minor leg injuries and was treated at the scene before being taken to the hospital. The sinkhole had formed so suddenly that no one had time to react. Within moments, the pool was empty, leaving guests in shock. Witnesses described the horror of watching a friend disappear underground without a chance to help him. Investigators investigated the cause of the collapse and discovered a troubling detail. The pool had been built without proper permits. Authorities investigated whether the villa's owners had violated safety regulations. The couple, both in their 60s, were arrested for suspected negligence and placed under house arrest, while officials continued their inquiry. Experts determined the pool had serious structural flaws that may have led to the disaster. The collapse was likely caused by underground erosion, possibly due to poor construction or drainage issues. If the pool had been properly inspected, the hidden dangers might have been detected before tragedy struck. This incident raises serious concerns about unauthorized construction and its potential risks. In some areas, sinkholes form naturally when water erodes rock beneath the surface, creating empty spaces underground. However, human activities, such as improper building practices, can also contribute to these collapses. In this case, failing to assess the land before construction may have played a critical role in the disaster. What if the pool had been legally approved? What if the property owners had followed safety procedures? Could this tragedy have been avoided? These questions remain unanswered, but they highlight the importance of ensuring structures meet safety standards before use. The loss of Khalil Kimhi was devastating for his family, friends, and colleagues. What was supposed to be a day of celebration turned into an unthinkable nightmare. The ongoing investigation continues to shed light on what went wrong, but one thing is clear: when safety regulations are ignored, lives are put at risk. It was June 18, 2017, in Mulhouse, France. Rebecca Berger, a 33-year-old fitness blogger, was preparing a simple whipped cream treat at home. Known for her love of fitness, travel, and sharing her life online, Rebecca has gained over 200,000 followers on Instagram and Facebook. She was full of life and energy, inspiring people with her workouts and positive attitude. But on this ordinary day, a tragic accident took her life in an instant. Rebecca was using a whipped cream dispenser when the device exploded. The container burst under pressure despite being properly sealed, sending metal parts flying. One piece struck her chest with such force that it triggered a heart attack. Paramedics arrived quickly and revived her, but the damage was too severe. She was taken to the hospital, where she passed away the following day. This was not just a rare accident, it resulted from a long-standing safety issue that had been ignored for years. Faulty whipped cream dispensers, also known as cream siphons, had been causing injuries for some time. Consumer groups had warned about the risks, but defective products continued to be sold. The dispenser that caused Rebecca's death was not the first to malfunction, and it would not be the last. Rebecca's family was devastated. Soon after her passing, they took to social media to inform her followers about what had happened. Along with their message, they posted a picture of the exact device that had caused her injury. They urged people to stop using these dispensers, warning that thousands of dangerous models were still circulating. They explained that Rebecca had used the product correctly. It had simply failed without warning. The news of her passing sent shockwaves through social media. Fans who had followed her fitness journey couldn't believe it. Many described her as an inspiration, a role model, and a person full of energy. The fitness brand Women's Best, which Rebecca had worked with, posted a heartfelt tribute, calling her a beautiful soul and a valued friend. Shockingly, Rebecca's death was not the first caused by an exploding cream siphon. French consumer organizations had been sounding the alarm for years. According to the consumer magazine 60 Million de Consommateurs, at least 60 similar incidents have been reported. Some people suffered broken teeth, others had fractured ribs, and in one case, a person barely survived after being struck in the chest by flying metal parts. The dispenser that failed Rebecca had been recalled years earlier. The manufacturer, Ardtime, pulled the product from the market in 2013 after reports of explosions. However, many units had already been sold, and not all customers were informed. As a result, defective dispensers remained in people's homes, waiting for an unsuspecting user. The issue went beyond one company. 2014, France's National Consumer Institute, or INC, warned about multiple whipped cream dispensers. Many had weak plastic caps that could not handle the pressure, making them prone to bursting. While most incidents resulted in injuries, Rebecca's was the first known fatality. Her case prompted renewed investigations. French authorities investigated whether these devices had been properly tested before being sold. They also wanted to determine if more could have been done to alert the public. The prosecutor's office in Mulhouse opened an inquiry to see if the manufacturer had acted responsibly or if the tragedy could have been prevented. In one of her last Instagram posts, Rebecca shared a message about appreciating life. She wrote about her future travels and upcoming projects and the importance of reflecting on her achievements. A beautiful day has come to an end. There are a lot of trips coming and new projects. I realized I should sit still and reflect on everything I've already accomplished and what I'm about to experience. Life is good. But what if Rebecca had known about the risks of her kitchen tool? Would her life have been saved if recalls had been better publicized? And how many other products have hidden dangers? Rebecca's story serves as a reminder always to be cautious about the products we use. Her family's decision to share her story helped spread awareness about defective kitchen devices, urging people to check their homes for potential risks. While nothing can bring her back, her tragic passing shed light on a problem that had been ignored for far too long. On October 28, 2023, the Sheffield Steelers faced off against the Nottingham Panthers at Sheffield's Utilita Arena. The stadium buzzed with energy as 8,000 fans watched the heated match, unaware that the night would end in tragedy. Adam Johnson, a 29-year-old American ice hockey player, was in his first season with the Nottingham Panthers. A talented forward, he had previously played for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the National Hockey League before continuing his career in European leagues. But what was supposed to be another exciting game turned into a heartbreaking event. During the second period, Johnson collided with Sheffield Steelers defenseman Matt Petgrave as both players raced for control of the puck. In the chaos, Petgrave's skate lifted off the ice, and as he fell, his blade struck Johnson's neck. Johnson immediately tried to skate toward the bench, but the injury was severe. Blood quickly pooled on the ice, and teammates rushed to shield him from the crowd. Medics arrived within moments, working desperately to stop the bleeding. Fans, initially confused, soon realized the gravity of the situation. The game was halted and players were ushered off the ice. Johnson was rushed to Sheffield's Northern General Hospital, but despite medical efforts, he did not survive. His sudden passing devastated the hockey community, leaving teammates, fans, and loved ones in mourning. His death raised immediate concerns about player safety, particularly the lack of required neck protection in professional leagues. While neck guards had been recommended, they were not mandatory in the Elite Ice Hockey League, or EIHL, where Johnson played. In response to the tragedy, the EIHL suspended all games scheduled for the following day. Across the hockey world, tributes poured in. Fans gathered outside the arena to leave flowers, jerseys, and heartfelt messages. His team, the Nottingham Panthers, retired his number 47 jersey in December 2023 to honor his memory. The incident also sparked an official investigation. South Yorkshire police arrested a man on suspicion of manslaughter, though he was later released on bail. Authorities, including the Crown Prosecution Service, continued to examine the circumstances of Johnson's death, but details remained limited. A senior coroner, Tanika Rawdon, issued a report urging hockey organizations to mandate neck guards to prevent similar incidents. In response, the English Ice Hockey Association, or EIHA, implemented a rule requiring neck protection in lower-tier leagues starting in 2024. However, the EIHL did not immediately enforce the same rule. Instead, it strongly encouraged players to wear guards without making them mandatory. Meanwhile, leagues outside the UK also took action. Several National Hockey League and American Hockey League players, including Anze Kopitar and Tyler Bertuzzi, began wearing neck guards voluntarily. USA Hockey introduced a policy requiring players under 18 and on-ice officials to wear neck protection starting in 2024. The American Hockey League soon followed with a similar mandate. The aftermath of Johnson's passing extended beyond rule changes. His family and teammates were left grieving while navigating the complexities of an ongoing legal investigation. By early 2024, the man arrested for the incident was re-bailed until April, with no formal charges filed. The tragedy also deeply affected Matt Petgrave, the player involved in the collision. Despite scrutiny, he maintained that the incident was an accident. Later, he launched a crowdfunding campaign to cover legal costs while awaiting the investigation's results. As the hockey world mourned, questions remained. Could better safety measures have prevented this? Would mandatory neck protection have made a difference? Johnson's passing reignited discussions about player safety in professional ice hockey, an issue that had long been debated but never fully addressed. For now, his legacy lives on, not only in the hearts of his loved ones but also in the changes his passing has inspired. The push for stronger safety protocols may help protect future players from similar tragedies, ensuring that Johnson's impact on the sport is never forgotten. It was April 2, 2021 in Dublin, Ireland. 8-year-old Luke Ramon Harper, a boy with autism and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, was playing upstairs in his home on Clonlara Road. Just a week earlier, his family had celebrated his birthday with balloons, decorations, and laughter. Among the decorations was a large helium-filled balloon shaped like 8. But what had once been a symbol of joy would soon lead to an unexpected and devastating turn of events. Earlier that day, Luke had been quietly watching YouTube videos. When his parents, Hilary McSweeney and Martin Harper, called him and his sister for dinner, he didn't respond. At first, they thought he was just distracted. But as time passed and he still didn't come downstairs, Hilary went to check on him. Nothing could have prepared her for what she saw. Luke was lying face down on the floor, completely unresponsive, with the deflated number 8 balloon covering his head. Panic set in as she rushed to remove it, but his small body was limp. In desperation, she carried him outside, hoping the fresh air would help, while Martin joined her in performing chest compressions. They did everything they could while waiting for emergency services to arrive. When paramedics arrived, they worked on Luke long before rushing him to Temple Street Children's Hospital. Hillary could sense that things were serious. Doctors tried everything, but the damage had already been done. The helium commonly used at parties had deprived Luke's brain of oxygen. After taking a lock of his hair and handprints as mementos the next day, his parents said their final goodbyes. At 3:52 p.m., Luke passed away, leaving an unbearable void in their lives. Hillary shared her heartbreak with the Dublin District Coroner's Court at the inquest. She explained that Luke had always loved helium balloons at his birthday parties, and they had never seen them as dangerous. He had never tried to put one over his head before, which made the accident even more shocking. Martin added that they believed Luke was simply trying to re-inflate the balloon. While older kids sometimes inhale helium to create funny voices, young children like Luke don't usually consider it risky. However, just a small amount of helium can be dangerous. The post-mortem confirmed that he lost consciousness quickly due to a lack of oxygen, which led to cardiac arrest. Dr. Crona Gallagher, the coroner, stated that Luke's passing was caused by inhaling helium, not the balloon itself. It appeared he had been unaware of what was happening and lost consciousness before he could ask for help. She described it as an insurmountable injury and ruled it an accidental death. Luke's parents emphasized that they could never have predicted this tragedy. There were no warning signs, and they had never considered helium balloons a potential danger. Hillary called it a freak accident and hoped that sharing their story would help other families avoid the same pain. While Dr. Gallagher didn't suggest banning helium balloons, she encouraged families to be more cautious, especially with young children. Even a small amount of the gas can cause serious harm. Luke's parents urged others to be extra careful and to dispose of deflated balloons properly. They didn't want anyone else to go through what they had experienced. In the weeks after Luke's passing, Hillary and Martin spread awareness about the risks of helium. They hoped that telling their story could prevent another child's life from being cut short. "When you're done with them, just make sure to throw them away properly," Martin said. Helium balloons are a common sight at parties, bringing fun and excitement. But for Luke's family, one simple balloon instantly changed everything.